As we promised, today in the vlog, we talking about Ada.
About Ada.
About Ada. How long ago you built Ada?
3 years ago we built Ada.
The first question is, after 3 years, would you change anything on it?
No.
No, you still...
Good question.
But like, because it was a while ago, it's not that fresh, so with time you might want to like...
Well, Cliff, the guy that commissioned this build, has changed a few things here and there. We've changed exhausts mainly. It's had 3 different exhaust pipes on it. He didn't like the sound of one was too noisy, one was pointing straight at the floor, so it was just blowing dust up in his garden whenever he started it. And then we came up with a new, well, Hot Rod Tom came up with a new design of shotgun for a bike that we did that's over my shoulder down there, these pipes.
Yeah, I realised that they're very, very similar, slightly different coming...
Slightly different.
Yeah.
They can't be the same. I won't have it.
Yeah.
They're the same. And Cliff said, I want a set of those pipes.
How it is different when you're working with a customer and when you're working just by yourself?
It's so different because you have to get inside their head. And he was very, very specific. He's a really good guy, good customer, but he's very specific about how he wanted the paint to be done. That particular seat, that design, that was made by a guy called George Pashov. Lives in Portugal, but he's a saddlesmith, a leathersmith. This is real copper dust. It's called a dust coat, but it's actually crushed copper put into a paste and then applied to the steel. He was very specific about how the copper would look, what clock he wanted, exact front end that he wanted. That's the second front end that we've had in there. That's another Alex Serrada Springer front end. Although he was very strict on what he wanted, we were very in tune with each other. I'm like, yeah, no, I like that idea. He gave me free rein on a lot of stuff. I had a mad idea about using this pipe. That's a pipe bracket, just an old plumbing pipe bracket. Because it was a little bit of steampunk and a little bit of old school that he wanted built into as well. Even though the electrics on it is all motor gadget, it's all state of the art stuff. So it was good, the fact that we were in tune with each other with the build, and it's been ongoing. So he'll bring it back. She's back in. Well, she came back a couple of months ago to have the pipes done and hasn't gone back home again since. We've been using her for a bit of promo work and stuff. But yeah, it was great fun to do. It's actually, this frame isn't a full mint frame. This is originally started off life as a sled head frame that we bought off Andy many years ago, but we actually completely cut and shut the whole frame to take this solid mount, 2011 48 solid mount engine. It's now a solid mount, it was a rubber mount. And we did break a perfectly good Harley Davidson 48 fuel injected bike to build this, but then Cliff wanted a carburettor, didn't want to run the fuel injection, so we had to junk all the fuel injection side out of it, take everything off of it and turn it all into carburettor. I think he liked the popping and banging of the carburettors, but the fuel injected ones pop and bang anyway. We've had a brake upgrade as well. It was running standard Harley Davidson calipers, not the best, no. And then these billet calipers came up and Cliff's like, oh, I have to have these. I have to have them. If Cliff wants them, Cliff got them. Paintwork, by the way, was done, this is a satin lacquer, and it was done by a guy called Steve Joy at Apache Race Paint up north. And we sent everything up to him, and then he actually drove all the way down with the paint.
The whole idea of a bike, the customer came to you with a specific list of what he wants to do and how the bike he wants to look, and then you suggested the ideas how to put everything together. This
is it, and if I see my phone goes, it says Cliff Jones, I'm like, oh god,
again.
What does he want now?
So it's never ending build this bike. Basically, the customer just keeps changing it,
and they do, and that happens.
He loves the process of working with you and the process of building.
We had a commission build with this bike. And this was a standard front end, the bars. I mean, that's been ongoing as well. A guy called Mark Mercer, he's a tattooist. constantly upgrading it. I think we should do this, I think we should do that.
So with the customers, it's always like this, they keep changing their mind, as well as when you are a builder and when you do the bike, within the process you change your mind. It's the same with the customer.
It's a lot easier when I change my mind. Then when they go, I've had an idea, and you're like, oh, why did I pick the phone up?
But you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So it depends on the customer if you enjoy it or it's you want them never to come back.
Luckily I haven't had one of them yet.
You told me that you liked every single bike you worked on.
I lie like a cheap watch.
Because we have an evidence, we have a customer who just said he hated working on his bike.
I know, and he wouldn't even give it back to me unless I did what he told me to do. That's true.
I wouldn't let you do. You went, oh, I want to do that. No.
I've got good news.
We can't believe anything you say.
No, I wouldn't.
I've got good news and bad news. The stuff you wanted done is done. The bad news is you're not getting your bike back.
Yes.
Until you do this.
Yeah.
Because it looks crap.
It did. It looks good now, though.
It does.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the final result?
Oh, over the moon.
I think the idea of owning a custom bike is, because these are always a second bike. You can't have something like this as your daily. You can't. There's no way that's ever going to happen.
For that is uncomfortable, and also because
keeping it
maintenance. Or how about like actually what it is like to have a custom bike like this?
I think
you have to come to the garage more often?
No, it's exactly the same. It's just that you can't do the miles that you want to do on one of these. I wouldn't want to. They're not comfortable.
Because only because they're comfortable.
And as an everyday bike, and you think, where can I park it? Would you just want to park that in the middle of London? Would you want to go shopping? Would you want to do this? Would you want to? And so I think, and something like this, if you've had something as nice as this, you need to keep it as nice as this.
Yes.
If you have a rat bike build, which I've built rat bikes that we haven't bothered painting them, we haven't even bothered painting the frames, just let them go rusty. Happy days, use that every day. But not when you've got something like this.
It's more like one-off piece that it's your pride and your
I think so.
bike that you want to show off rather than just ride every day.
Yeah, sure.
Usual everyday bike.
I do commute on a hardtail, but it's my choice.
5 minutes away.
I only live 5 minutes away.
Don't go commuting. You live 5 minutes away.
You can see my house a bit. I can push it here actually. I don't use any petrol. I just push it here.
Exactly. I think your wife here, when you start the bike here and she put the kettle.
She knows. Yeah, she knows the dinner's going on.
Yeah, no.
Would you want to use one of these every day? If this was in your garage and you open your garage door and you've got squirrel sitting there.
But if I have it as the only bike, like I have my Sportster as the only bike, so I have no choice.
Yeah.
I have to go on it. And I had 10.5-inch shocks, and I want to Barcelona on it. Because it was the only bike I have no choice. And yes, it wasn't comfortable, it's not the best bike to travel around, but still, I don't complain, I loved it. I would love to try and travel far on the hardtail. To see how it is, like to travel actually a few countries and see how it is to travel on the hardtail.
Yeah. Oh, it's done. Of course it's done. People do it. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I wouldn't want to do it. I've had a full day's riding out, 140 odd plus miles there, 140 odd plus miles back. I've done that, but at the end of it, you're praying for a petrol stop.
Yeah.
You're praying something fall off.
It does happen that something fall off.
Oh, constantly. It's a Harley.
Yeah,
if it's not thread locked or welded, it will fall. Mind you, even then, it will still come undone and break. They are very vibratory, and you're lucky you've got a later one. It's a rubber mount engine on yours.
Yeah.
Where the solid mounts vibrate even more. So it's you haven't got any teeth left if by the time you get anywhere. And it might look really cool going up the road, but inside you're like, oh my arse, oh my teeth. They are cool though, but as a second bike, I would say as a second bike. Plus, it's cost a lot of money to build that bike.
So maintaining a bike like this is exactly the same as for me maintaining my bike. It's nothing different about it. It's how hard is to change parts, for example, the parts that wearing out, to change them or they never wearing out because people
don't use them as much. Or the one I used a lot did wear out, but they're standard Harley wheels, so they're standard Harley bearings. The engines are. It's a standard Harley engine, so all them filter changes quite regularly, primary, everything's all exactly the same. Exactly the same, you've got an oil drain on the tank, chain adjustment, fine, as long as you keep your exhaust studs done up, nothing should fall off. The only time that this bike feels a little bit wayward is slow parking and moving. Once this thing is out, it is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It just sits. And you look really good on it.
How long it took you with your customer constantly changing his mind to build this bike?
6 months.
That's quick.
Yeah.
Even with all like mind.
Oh, because if he says something, I'm on it. I'll build it. It's done.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking about. I've done it. All right.
Okay. 6 months.
Yeah. In the middle of the night, if he phones me in the middle of the night and says, "I've got an idea about the headlight," and I'm like,
And you were like, "Sorry, honey."
I'm straight up here. What else do you want to know?
I want to know where the name came from. Why Ada?
Cliff, the guy that owns it. If I can remember that far back as to where Ada came from, but it's his name. He came up with it. There's a story behind it, but I don't know what the story is.
Okay, he never
So
told.
he named it. He did tell me, but I can't remember.
Forgot.
Yeah, I've definitely forgot.
Okay.
Might have been a dog he had, or his nan. Perhaps he had a pet mushroom or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But he did actually manage to find a private plate with Harley Davidson and Ada on it, which is really good. Which cost him even more money. He's an accountant, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure he had a spreadsheet on his. That's the other thing with Cliff. He runs spreadsheets.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything's a spreadsheet. I've got a spreadsheet for that.
Did he show them to his wife?
No. And this only costs £3,500 to build.
Is it?
I mean, they're a lovely couple, but they are living in a caravan now at the bottom of an old lady's garden because they had to sell the house to build Ada.
Spreadsheets.
And his spreadsheets, yeah. She found his spreadsheet.
She found his spreadsheet.
We've got to move into the caravan.
What's the biggest fear of people like Cliff?
Yes.
That when he will die, his wife will sell the bike for what he told it cost him. I think that's it. Is it possible to hear Ada? Oh, hey you! Hey you! Can do it all day! That's it! If you're ever wondering where Simon gets his inspiration for the color scheme on his bikes, like Ada, Bling,
Cheesy.
Cheesy, that's his inspiration. Hey!
It's not even my dog.
Good boy! He's not laughing at you! No! That vicious man not laughing at you!
And he's long as well. Yeah. He's taller than I am.
Look at the tank and look at the dog.
Hey Frank. Good boy. I had some road test viddies, street glide, and I just serviced it. I've done a load of other stuff on it. and I took it out onto the main road, and I thought I'd just do a couple of miles, I'll turn around and come back. Then I realised I couldn't turn it round. I ended up 30 miles away in Hartford. I keep going till I got to a big enough roundabout that I could go round it. Well, I can't touch the floor and I can't turn around. Just keep going. Alright, just keep going. Had the stereo on. Keep going. So, anyway, that was that.